Hello again everyone from Tokyo, Japan, and welcome back to Japan Vintage Camera. It's a very beautiful day here at the park today. Autumn is well underway. It's gotten a lot cooler here and quite a bit less humid, and it's a great time of year to come out and enjoy the outdoors. I'm wearing jeans today, which is kind of unusual. I've been wearing shorts pretty much constantly since last May or so. I love to wear shorts and I wear them whenever the weather allows, but unfortunately the shorts season is drawing to an end, so once again I'm wearing jeans. It's been a long time since my last video. I apologize for that. I think it's been more than 2 weeks since I was last able to make a video. We're quite busy here in the autumn season between work and business and school and everything else, and it's quite hard to find time to make a video. On top of that, I've had a lot of business at my Etsy store recently. A lot of people have been buying cameras from me, and I've been kind of snowed under with orders for the last 3 or 4 weeks or so. Thank you all of you who have bought cameras from me. I am shipping them out as quickly as I can. It takes about 2 weeks from the time you place your order till the time that the camera arrives. 2 weeks or a little bit less than that. And normally it would be faster than that. It's not so much that it's taking me a long time to get the cameras boxed up and sent out, but that I cannot ship as often as I used to due to the pandemic. It used to be I could arrange for shipping every day, but now I'm limited to 1 or 2 days a week. So getting them out is a little bit slower than it otherwise is. But everything does eventually get out and eventually gets to where it's going. So for those of you who have ordered cameras and they haven't arrived yet, please be patient. They will get there soon. Today's video is going to be about a really unique and interesting camera, and one which is seldom seen outside Japan. And that is the Fujica Mini 35mm half-frame camera. The Fujica Mini was introduced in 1964, and it's kind of a really interesting idea for producing a camera. It was designed mainly as a fashion accessory which you could use to take photographs with, designed primarily for the female market. By the 1960s or mid-1960s, Japan's economy was growing, very quickly, much more quickly than the 1950s. People had more money and could afford to buy a few things, a few more things, and a few more nicer things. And this is one of those things which was produced to satisfy this market. It's kind of an odd camera in the way it was designed. The camera itself, the lens and mechanism and such, were designed by one of Fujifilm's top camera designers at the time, whereas the cosmetics and such were actually designed by a professor of art and music at Tokyo University. So here you have kind of like the combination of ideas between an engineer and a professor of art and music. And despite the fact that it is mainly designed as an accessory for use by fashionable women, it's actually quite a good camera and quite good at taking pictures. It features a 28mm f2.8 lens, somewhat similar to the Olympus Zuiko 2.8cm f2.8 lens, but that's pretty much where the similarity to other half-frame cameras ends. A unique thing about the Fujica Mini is it has a single fixed shutter speed, which is 1/125th of a second. It's a full manual camera which relies on that basic shutter speed, and to compensate for varying light, what you have to do is you just adjust the aperture one way or the other, so you can constantly shoot at that particular speed. It sounds like kind of an odd system, but it's very simple and makes for a reliable and easy to use camera. So let's go ahead and take a look at the features and functions of the Fujica Mini, starting at the top here. The top is kind of plain, rather flat. It has a flat edge on one side and curved on the other, kind of an unusual design compared to other half-frame cameras. There's nothing at all here on this side of the camera. The film rewind knob is located just under the edge. In the center here, we have kind of a thumb wheel which you use to adjust the camera to match the film speed you have loaded inside. Next to that we have the shutter release button. There's no provision on this camera for a cable release. And then we have the film winding lever. On the top here we have a kind of a meter readout and there are a couple of needles here. The first needle is the one which you use to adjust the film speed or set the film speed, and the second one lines up or is affected by the movement of the aperture and the selenium light meter. So as you move the aperture, the amount of light which contacts the meter is increased or decreased, and this causes the meter to move. And when the light meter needle lines up with the orange needle that you preset, then the aperture should be correct for the 1/125th second shutter speed. On the front of the camera we have the viewfinder window, and we have the lens assembly itself. There's this simple chrome ring around it with a tab on the bottom, and this is the tab which you use to adjust the aperture. These cameras are fitted with this really interesting looking, I guess, sapphire kind of lens protector on the front. And the good thing about this is when you find these cameras, they're not going to have scratches on the lens, because this prevents any contact with the front of the lens. Unless you find one of those cameras where this has been removed. And I have seen a few of these where they have taken them off, because this filter, though it is resistant to scratches, it's not impossible to scratch it. And when they become scratched long enough, people tend to take them off and just leave the lens and the meter element exposed. On the inside here you can see this plastic Fresnel circular donut thing here. That is the light meter. And in the center, of course, we have the lens. If you need to remove the filter or clean it, what you can do is simply, if you turn this hard enough and give it a good twist, this entire chrome ring can be removed, and that will allow you to clean behind it, or clean the front lens element, or remove it for repairs or whatever. Or simply just to remove a scratched I guess filter element. If you hunt around, you can find one which is close enough to the right size and simply replace it. There is a rubber seal which fits behind it to prevent, I guess, air or whatever from getting inside. And this is a really good benefit because it prevents air and the atmosphere from reaching the selenium coating on the inside of the light meter. And it is exposure to air is the main reason that these selenium light meters deteriorate over time. Cameras which have well-sealed light meter elements tend to remain accurate for longer than cameras which do not. So that's, in my experience, that's the main cause of selenium meters degrading over time. If we take a look at the back of the camera, we have the viewfinder eyepiece here, and we have a film counting wheel below that. And on the bottom of the camera we have we have the release here, which allows you to rewind the film, and we have the knob which allows you to remove the film back. There is no provision for a tripod on this camera. To open the camera, you simply push down and turn it to the O setting, which means open, and you slide it off like so. And here we have the film pressure plate, which you have to fold down in order to load the film. You simply drop the film cartridge here, stretch the film across the way, and feed it into the take-up spool, and close this. On the top here you see a range of colors, and this is how you adjust for the film speed. What you do is you take note of the the speed of the film you are loading, and once you know that, you simply turn the knob on the top so the orange needle lines up with the appropriate color. We have 4 colors here. We have red, blue, orange, and green, with a film speed of ASA 25 to ASA 200, a kind of limited speed, but in those days, in the 1950s, 1960s, 100 speed film was kind of considered fast, so 200 was a nice option to have. So once you've selected the appropriate film speed and programmed it into the top of the computer, you slide the back on, push it back up, and twist it to the lock position. Then you wind the shutter and fire it until the counter lines up with the 1 on the back and the camera is ready to shoot. So, a really interesting camera and really unique. I will be listing this camera for sale shortly on my new online store, JapanVintageCamera.com, as well as my Etsy and eBay store. So if you're interested in this camera, please check in. I should have it listed tonight or tomorrow as soon as I have time. I also have other cameras listed for sale right now and plan to be listing more as I get them. As I said, I've been quite busy and people have been buying things pretty much as fast as I can list them. So I'm trying to get more cameras and try to increase my selection and variety. So if you don't see what you like, please check back, or of course you can always leave a request at my store. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. If you're interested, if you like this video and want to see more, please subscribe. I hope you tune in again soon. Thank you very much.